Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am a third year medical university student. In this video, I decided to share 3 study tips with you that could help you in your university or school or just in general learning process. So the first one I call the blank sheet. Let's say I have to study one chapter of biochemistry. So what I do is I take my book and I write everything that is important and everything that I need to know on this one sheet of paper. Sometimes I put it into like little boxes so that everything is divided and very well seen, but the whole chapter has to be on this one sheet of paper. If there's too much information and you can't just possibly fit everything onto one paper, you can just divide the chapter onto some sections and do the same thing. Take one section and put it onto one sheet of paper. And as you may know, 65% of people are visual learners, and what this helps you with, seeing everything on one page is much easier for your brain than seeing it on 7 different pages and trying to remember it. And actually seeing everything put together, you can connect one piece of information to another piece of information just visually. I studied biochemistry by this method, and I can tell you that I passed it perfectly because of it. Sometimes it's hard to do this method when you have a very wordy subject. So let's say if it's physiology or something that you have to write a lot. In that case, what I do is I create little schemes. Maybe they're with drawings or something, so that they are very small, but then still you can visually see everything you need to know there. And I can tell you that this one paper can actually really help you with your learning. It's actually a lot easier to try to recall something when you are under stress, let's say on the exam or in the classroom, when everything you need to learn is on this one page and you can actually visualize it. The second one involves Anki, the app you probably all know, but I use it in a little bit different way. So what I do is I only write questions into the Anki without the answers. And the reason for that is that I found putting everything I have in my notes or in my lecture notes or in my book into the Anki very hard. It was a lot more time consuming and energy consuming. The flashcards themselves were very big and bulky, and I could not make myself go and study them. Let's say I have my lecture notes. So while I'm studying them, I go to Anki and I write only the questions in. So let's say I wrote, how many muscles are there in the human body? I do not take time to write the answer down because everything I need to know is already in my lecture notes or in my book itself. So once I'm revising my Anki cards, if I can't remember something, I go to my textbook or my lecture notes, wherever my answer is, and I revise it from there. It's so much easier, so much quicker, and so much more effective, because when you're doing something online, me personally, I try to make it as short as possible so that there's no overflood with information. When you are searching for the answer in the textbook, you sometimes read the information that you would never really notice and you would never really put into your flashcard in the first place. I'm studying pharmacology now with that type of method, and it's working perfectly. Sometimes obviously there is information that you need to note. Books are not really that well structured, so obviously if you need to type it somewhere, then obviously feel free to do that, but there's a lot of information that is right there in the open and does not need to be just copy pasted into your Anki notes. That actually really helped me use Anki, because beforehand I was really too lazy to do it. Making the flashcards, it took too long. Revising them took even longer. Third one is the story method or linking, which you have probably heard of. I create a story for it. Let's say I want to remember how is acetylcholine made in the nerve ending. Then I imagine this nerve ending as a house, and I imagine acetylcholine as food salad. I imagine choline and acetyl-CoA as some types of fruits. Let's say it's an apple and strawberries. And then I imagine that someone, let's create a bear, right? A bear is cooking this food of acetylcholine, and I imagine this bear as obviously choline acetyltransferase. Now I have a literal story of this acetylcholine made, from what it's made and what is the enzyme that helps making my food. Sometimes I use it in a way that I link what I need to know to what I already know. Basic thing of remembering the author of the book by remembering someone else who is named the same name and someone who is named the same surname. It works sometimes it's much easier to just remember everything on your own, but I think that it's worth trying, and it's actually really fun. Teachers use this method of creating a house, and the reasons of the disease are the base of the house, and the symptoms are the walls of the house, factors are the roof of the house. It's so easy to remember by this method, so I definitely recommend using it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found something that maybe helped you. Maybe you refreshed some methods that you already knew. I would ask you to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it and if you found it helpful, and I really hope to see you back on this channel. Thank you for watching.